Hey, Allison Malika here, and we're going to take a look at simple functions to auto-calculate sums, like addition, and also averages in Google Sheets. So we're going to do both Autosum and Autoaverage in the same video, starting with Autosum. So you're going to want to use your workbook, practice workbook to do this. We're going to first, by looking at the screen, I'll walk you through the steps. We're going to click in the cell we want the total. So I've provided you with a spreadsheet that has just basically some totals of money that maybe we earned from fundraising activities. And we want to get a total on the car wash, the fundraiser, and the bike-a-thon. But we also want totals broken down by May, June, July, and August, each month. And then we want a grand total. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to pick the month of May, and we're going to go to that total, and we're going to enter the Autosum formula. And if you typed it out, you would type out equals sign sum, and then use the parenthesis to put the first cell that has data in it, a colon, and then the last cell that has data in it, and then you close the parenthesis. There's a missing parenthesis on the screen. Or you can use what's called the Autosum function. So I'm going to do both, and then you can complete doing it in your spreadsheet. So let's hop over. I'm going to demo it in the sheet live. Let me just zoom in here so it's not so small. And we're going to go ahead and add the Autosum. So you can see on the right-hand side, it says use equals sum B2 to D2. So I'm going to go into cell this E2, and I'm going to type in equals. And then AI is so amazing. Now it knows I want to do it. So it's suggesting the formula, and that's exactly what I want. So I can just hit enter, and there's the sum. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to show you is that if I want the sum of June, July, August, September, I can click in the cell and then just click on this little drag button and drag it down, and then all of the sums will be auto-calculated for me. So it copies the formula down, not the amount, which is kind of clever, right? The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, control minus, zoom out, control minus. On my toolbar, on the far right-hand side, is the function option. So if I were to click in cell B8, which is the grand total cell for car wash, and went and chose the functions, I can choose a function from that list, and sum would be one of them. So I click on sum, and then I could click and drag over the data that I want to calculate, and then hit enter, and I get the sum. Okay, so those are a couple ways to do auto sums. Highly recommend you teach kids how to do this, because if you don't, they do use spreadsheets and they use a calculator to get the totals. So just keep that in mind. Now, in the same respect, we can do Control R. Control R will fill things to the right. So if I click and drag to the right of the grand total for car wash, and I hold down my control key and click the letter R for right, it will copy the formula to the right. So there's lots of ways to copy. One is to just use this handle tool. Okay. Now I'm going to hop over to Autoaverage, and I bet you can guess what we're going to do. We're going to average these students' grades. So in cell K2, instead of sum, we're going to do average. So you could type in equals average, and I bet AI will give you the rest, equals average. And it doesn't. Well, lo and behold. So now what I can do is click and drag over these options and hit enter, and it gives me the average. Now it's suggesting an autofill to fill that down. So if I click on the checkbox, it fills all the averages down for me. So sometimes AI is going to pitch in on sheets. If you know how to get started, then AI may pitch in and do the rest for you. So that's how you use the auto functions in Google Sheets. If you didn't practice as you were watching, which I wouldn't recommend, stop the video. Before you go on to the next one, go ahead and practice auto sums and auto averages. Before we go on to the next video, I want to draw your attention to your workbook, because in the bottom right-hand corner, you may be running out of space. You may have already had to scroll right, but there's a scroll right button because we have more sheets in here. We're only going to go as far as create chart and insert pivot table. There's just some extras in there that I left from previous trainings I had done in the past. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to go to the create chart. So get ready for that.